all the students of St. Mark's College in Namagoma, but it has grown beyond just only all the students. On call today, we have got the board chair. We have got Mr. Kulivia Geoffrey is a board member. We have got administrators and staff of St. Mark's College in Namagoma. We have got our old students. Our old students are some are already working, they're in big positions, others at the university. So it is a mixture of all those people that we're going to be presenting to. I take this pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Aineviona Jesse. Mr. Aineviona Jesse is a mechanical engineer by profession. He's an entrepreneur. He's a speaker. He's a teacher. He's a certified professional coach from Coach Masters Academy in Singapore. He's a training and development associate from Inspired Leaders International. He's a man with vast experience, and we have no doubt that the topic that he's going to present today, we are all going to be empowered. Please allow me invite and request Mr. Aineviona Jesse to begin his presentation. Mr. Aineviona Jesse, you're most welcome. And I take this honor to invite you at this point in time. Thank you so much, Mr. Aineviona, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wabwire, and thank you to everybody that is on the call. Thank you for the organizers of this event. I can see the painstaking detail and attention to excellence that has come into this. So well done, and I'm humbled and delighted to be a part of this empowerment session this morning. As already mentioned, our topic is right before us, developing a culture of excellence. And given the brevity of our time, I will just go straight into it. I want us to begin with a few key terms in this topic. When we talk about developing a culture of excellence, I would love to hear your understanding of culture. And I will ask maybe Bruno. Bruno, you'll be reading for me some of the comments that come through in the chat room. But when you think about culture, what comes to your mind? Yesterday, I was attending an event, a kuhinjira, what we call the giveaway in our culture. And part of the culture is that they bring the omugamba, and then it is kind of a way to show the bridge between the two families and the bond of connection. And then there is something they call okwevuga, where someone talks very fast in the traditional language. That is all culture. Okay, so when you hear about culture, I'm interested to know, what is your understanding of culture? As you share your thoughts in the chat room, I will share with you what I know by what I understand by culture. Culture is the way things are done. The way things are done. It could be the way things are done in a family. That is the family culture. It could be the way things are done in an institution, like in a school, St. Mark's College, Namagoma. That is culture. The way things are done in a certain organization. That is culture. The way things are done in Buganda. That is the Buganda culture. The way things are done here. Culture. It is the practices and behavior of the people. So as we talk about excellence, I want you to keep this at the back of your mind. But we are first looking at culture. The way things are done here, the practices and behavior of the people, how people relate with one another. How do we relate with each other? That is culture. It can also be the unwritten rules and social dynamics that influence how things are done. Some of these may not be written anywhere, but because you come in and you see this is how things are done, that simply means even when a new person joins the institution, they will just continue to do things the way they are done. So what is the culture? That is what culture simply means. This was said by Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker said, culture will eat strategy for breakfast. Culture will eat strategy for breakfast. And then someone once asked, so what will it eat for lunch? And what will it eat for supper? You might as well say culture will eat strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And why this is true for me is because Culture, even at a personal level, it is our behavior. Take, for example, today, we are coming to the end of March. Maybe at the beginning of the year, you began the year with some resolutions. That was the strategy. That was the strategy. One of the most common resolutions is, I want to get into shape. I want to get in shape. In other words, I want to lose weight. Now, if that is the strategy, that is the goal, that is the culture, that is the strategy. Now, where culture will eat strategy for breakfast is, that is the strategy at the beginning of the year, maybe in the first 3 days, the first week, maybe in the first 2 weeks of the year. That is strategy. That's what we are telling everybody. My New Year resolution is to get into shape. Then, after about 2 weeks, the culture takes over. The culture of eating what you like, the culture of not exercising, the culture of not being health conscious. Soon or later, that culture will take over the strategy. So we are no longer talking about, I want to get into shape. We have now gone into the normal. That is the subconscious. That is the culture. Same thing with an organization. You could go away and make a strategic plan. Very good. But if we don't pay attention to the culture, to the behavior, to the practices, to the unwritten rules, to the unwritten social dynamics, that culture is going to swallow that strategic plan. You can come with a strategic plan. Very good. But you cannot come with a culture. Recently, Stanbic got a new chief executive. He's called Mumba Kalifungwa. Mumba was the CEO of ABSA. He is now the CEO of Stanbic. Mumba can come with so many things from the places he has worked. But one thing he cannot come with is that he cannot come with the new culture. The culture of Stanbic is already there. He can come with new ideas on how to improve the strategic plan, but he cannot come with a new culture. The culture is already there. It is already set. It is what has been happening before he came. He can influence it, but he cannot come with a new culture. So what I'm here to say is that culture will always eat strategy for breakfast. Now, how does this tie into our topic? What we are saying is we are talking about developing a culture of excellence. If we can incorporate excellence into our culture, we shall have an awesome institution, awesome school, awesome experience. So as we think about culture and as we think about Smacon as the High Achievers College, I want you to keep this at the back of our mind as we now talk about excellence. So what is excellence? I just want to go straight and share with you what excellence is. Okay.
You, everyone in this room, no matter if you're working at a credit union, at an auto dealership, at a bank, at a hospital, at a school, you are the service experience. So I want to talk with you today about delivering world-class service. And the word world-class is synonymous with excellence. Excellence is one of those words that people talk about a lot. They use it a lot. The culture of excellence, clothing of excellence, smile of excellence, smell of excellence. And excellence is good, but you don't want the word to become a cliche. Would you agree? The word excellence, ladies and gentlemen, the root word is to excel. To excel means to go beyond. Beyond what? I'm glad you asked. Beyond what's expected. The word excellence means to exceed expectations. It means to do more than what's required of you.
So that is excellence. It means to exceed go beyond what is expected of you. That is excellence. So as we think about, when you think about the High Achievers College, that word high achievers, that is excellence. The word high achievers, it speaks to the value of excellence at St. Mark's College, Namagoma. And I really want to appreciate the school, the directors, the management, the staff, the non-teaching staff. The many times I have been at the school, what I see is excellence. And I just want to encourage you to keep up the good work because we are doing something noble in the education sector in this nation. So well done. Keep up the good job. So excellence is doing your best. Are you doing your best? Doing your best. Look, there's a difference between doing your best. There's a difference between doing your best and being the best. Sometimes you can do your best and not be the best. That's scenario one. You can do your best, but your best may not be the best. That's okay. You did your best. Okay. Then sometimes you may be the best when you did not do your best. So maybe because you are in an average setting, people are really mediocre, and even you're just your average, your mediocre attempt is just the best among all these other people. So as we think about excellence, it is not about being the best, because sometimes being the best might be deceptive because of the environment. It is about doing your best. Doing your best. Sometimes you hear that athletes went for a competition, maybe in the Olympics or in the World Championships, and this person did their personal best. This was their personal best. Their personal best was not the best, but that is the best they have ever done. Excellence is doing your best. Excellence, as already mentioned today, is surpassing expectations. It is going beyond what is expected of you, surpassing expectations. It is not being content with mediocrity. You don't settle for average. You don't settle and say, look, this is good enough. This is okay. If it is okay, it is not okay. Not being content with mediocrity. Excellence is maintaining high standards of quality, skill, or performance. High standards. You don't settle for average standards. This is high standards. Excellence is continually striving for improvement. You continually get better. You continually get better. And we see this a lot, for example, in the phone world. I bought this phone about a month ago. This is a Samsung A55. Now, when I went to buy this phone, I found that there are other Samsungs, but there was A35, there was A16, which means that they kept on improving until they have moved to the highest. This is, at the time I bought it, it was the highest in the A series. Now, maybe a month later, they have improved and developed another one. But it is something that keeps on striving to get better, to get better. The car that you're driving is not the first car in that series. There was maybe another Harrier, or maybe there was another Cardinal, but they kept on improving. Maybe there was a certain Mercedes, they kept on improving, continually striving for improvement. So no matter how well you're doing, I would like to impress upon you today that you can still do better. Excellence is demonstrating exceptional competence, dedication, and integrity. Exceptional competence, dedication, and integrity. One of our directors, our director on this call, Daniel Damlida, that name Daniel, the name Daniel. When you read about Daniel in the book of Daniel, you'll find that Daniel distinguished himself among all the nobles. Now, that is excellence. He was outstanding. There was no one like him. That is excellence. When you become outstanding, you demonstrate exceptional competence, dedication, integrity. Now, that is excellence. Excellence is superior, extreme, maximum standard in our work. Extreme, superior, maximum standard in our work. And lastly, excellence is going beyond the call of duty. It's going beyond the call of duty. Excellence. I think one of the challenges we have in this country is just doing what you are paid to do. Just doing what you are supposed to do. And that's not enough. We need to go beyond the call of duty. A story is told of these 3 people who were hired. Okay, follow me very closely. 3 people were hired and given a job. The first one was to dig the pit. Okay, dig, remove the soil. The second one was to plant the seed. Plant the seed. The third one was to put the soil back. Okay, so the first one, dig, remove soil. Second one, plant the seed. Third one, put the soil back. On this particular day, maybe a Thursday like this one, the first and the third showed up, but the second person did not come. Okay, so the first person who was to dig the pit showed up. The second person who was supposed to plant the seed did not show up. The third person who was supposed to put the soil back showed up. So on this day, there are 2 people, and they did their work. The first one would dig, remove the soil. The second one, the third one now, the one who came, would put the soil back. So this one removes soil, this one puts back. This one removes the soil, this one puts back. None of them stopped to ask themselves, but wait a minute, what exactly are we doing? They did not check. They did not go beyond the call of duty. This one said, for me, I was given money, I was paid, I was hired. to do this. Don't tell me anything extra. I am limited to my job description. Sometimes we miss the point. You could do your job and still miss the point. Because in this case, these people were all doing what they were paid to do, but they missed the point. Going beyond the call of duty. Going beyond the call of duty. And I want to quickly move to why excellence matters. Why excellence matters. Number one, excellence matters because it enables, and maybe let me just pose a question here. Again, share with me your thoughts. Why do you think excellence matters? Okay, share with me your thoughts. I'm interested to hear from you. Why do you think excellence really matters? Why does it matter? Bruno, once we have a comment, just let me know. In the meantime, let me share why I think that excellence matters. Number one, quality service delivery. When you go to a place that is excellent, you expect quality service. Quality service delivery. Secondly, it makes you competitive. Because when you offer quality, then you become the go-to person. You command your price. When you do an excellent job, sometimes even people will shift their program because they want to wait for you. You become competitive. Benefits of excellence. Number three, it enhances the reputation of the organization. People know St. Mark's College as an excellent organization. People know your institution as a place of excellence. It enhances the company's reputation. Number four, it improves morale of the staff, the non-teaching staff, everybody, the employees. It improves morale. You feel good to be in a place where excellence is demonstrated and celebrated. Excellence. Okay. It even brings innovation and creativity. I mean, what we are having right now, this is an innovation. I don't know any other school that does this, but no, this is an innovation. So innovation and creativity. Another benefit is that it encourages efficiency in operation. You know, operations move well and smoothly. Why? Because there is excellence. Excellence. Sometimes I do work with organizations, and sometimes you can tell the culture. You can tell the culture. And I am always delighted to work in a place where excellence is the norm, where people mind integrity, because then you know that I don't have to go through very difficult conversations here. You know, so efficiency in operations, adaptability to evolving challenges and trends, adaptability, excellence. You are able to adapt to evolving trends, evolving challenges. But in addition to that, it also boosts customer satisfaction. Customers are happy when they are dealing with an organization where excellence is celebrated. It even improves retention. That simply means that you get retained. They patronize you if you're a service provider, if you're a supplier. You even get referrals. Those are the benefits of being excellent. It enhances trust and reliability, a very important aspect in life. Trust. People will trust you because they trust that you will deliver excellently. You are reliable. They know that when you think about this person, I know that this person is excellent. When you prove yourself to be an excellent person, you become trusted and you become reliable. And I will tell you something, that trust is not demanded. You don't say, no, trust me, trust me. People don't trust you because you asked. People trust you because your actions show that you can be trusted. And lastly, it enables you to build a great personal brand. Personal brand. Let me tell you something about personal branding. We've talked about personal branding here before. Personal branding is what is talked about you when you're not in the room. That is personal branding. If your name comes up somewhere in a certain meeting right now, you're not there right now. Your name is on the table for discussion. What is said about you, because now you're not there to defend yourself. What is said about you, that is your personal brand. And we build our personal brand by the way we do our things, the way we carry ourselves, the way we do life. That is how we brand ourselves. So every time you do a mediocre job, you're setting a brand. Every time you just do average work, that is your brand. A certain time comes when a combination of all these actions becomes your personal brand. They'll say, that one, no. That is what happens when we're at a meeting and we're looking for service providers. A name comes up and they say, hey, that one, don't even mention that one. Then another name is said and they say, oh, perfect, I know that person. Let's take him on. That is your personal brand. Why are you being branded that way? Because of the way you have been doing life. It enables you to build your personal brand. So, excellence should not just be a goal or a way of life or a mantra or a slogan. Excellence is something that should be embedded in the culture and practices of our organization, and in this case, even your personal life, driving sustained success and growth. Let's not just begin sloganeering. I am a person of excellence. Question is, what shows? What shows? Many years ago, I did math in high school, pure math. There was always this question: prove that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Prove it. Prove it. You have to prove that you are a person of excellence. If you kept quiet and we said, let's talk about this person, what would show that you are a person of excellence? What shows? In other words, what actions do you take to show that you are a person of excellence? It is not something that you say, I am a person of excellence. You don't put up your hand for excellence. No. People define you because they know you, they see you, they watch you, they see how you do your life. That is how excellence is defined. Excellence is not demanded, it is earned. So excellence should not just be a goal. It should not just be a mantra. It should be a way of life. It should be embedded in the culture and practices in each of our personal lives. That will drive sustained success and growth. What does a workplace or individual who maintains excellence and high standards look like? Let me hear your thoughts on this one. What does a workplace or an individual who maintains excellence or high standards look like? In other words, what are some of those indicators? What are some of those indicators? Largely, what we have already talked about are indicators, going beyond the call of duty. Someone who does more than is expected. Someone who is not just focused on their job, but is focused on the bigger picture of the organization. Sometimes I give an example that if you come, say you are a staff of an organization, you work in accounts, but maybe you're passing the reception and then you find this person that has been seated there for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's not your role to receive and welcome guests because you work in accounts. But if you just walked up to that person and say, excuse me, good morning, are you being worked on? If nobody's, if the person is not being worked on, then you might want to find out, what are you here for and how can I be of help? Oh, I wanted something from the procurement section. No problem. Let me help you to get there. You are not a receptionist. You're not in procurement, but you have taken it upon yourself to find out if the person that has visited the organization is being attended to. Indicators of excellence. Awesome. Someone who produces results in a timely manner. Timeliness is what we are calling excellence. So someone who manages time, someone who is prompt is a person of excellence. Thank you. Awesome. Someone who is consistent. You don't say, today I did not wake up on the right side of the bed. Then go back to the bed and roll yourself and wake up on the right side. So being a person of excellence. Question. Here is another question. I want to ask, now that we know what excellence is, now that we know the benefits, now that we even know what it looks like, the question is, what hinders us from achieving excellence, either at a personal level or at a professional level? What are the hindrances? What stops us from becoming people of excellence? Self-conflicting thinking, thinking that contradicts what excellence is all about. Thank you for that comment. Failure to adopt change. So here is someone who always feels, this is how we did it in this year, this is how we have always done it, and for me, I stick to my old ways. Well, if you stick to your old ways, then maybe someone who was doing typewriting some time back may no longer be relevant. Having no strategy for excellence. Thank you. Now that we have all these roadblocks in place, our thinking, lack of strategy, lack of intentionality, you say, I will start doing excellence tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, so lack of strategy, lack of intentionality. In the law of the 15 invariable laws of growth, there are 15 laws. The number one law, the first law, is called the law of intentionality. And what that means is that growth doesn't just happen. Growth does not just happen. In other words, just because you're growing old does not mean that you're growing up. I will pause there for a moment. Just because you're growing old does not mean that you're growing up. Sometimes people grow old and they are not growing up. You are a boy, you were a child, you are now a 16-year-old boy, you are in Form 4 or Form 5, but you're still doing things like a P3 boy. Can we grow up? Growth doesn't just happen. In the same way, excellence does not just happen. Excellence is not accidental. It's not automatic. You have to be intentional about it. And that brings me now to some few strategies that we can use to adopt a culture of excellence, both personally and professionally. Strategy number 1, 7 strategies that we can look at. Strategy number 1 is to believe that excellence is possible. Believe that excellence is possible. Believe that no matter how good things are, we can make them better. And therefore, a good question to always ask ourselves is this: how can I do this better? How can I do this better? Yes, I did well. I was at St. Mark's College was it last weekend? Yes, it was last weekend, and they were giving out reports, and I was with the head teacher when one of the students received their report, and the mother said, "My boy has really done well." Now, for that boy, I forget his name, for that boy, no matter how well you're doing, you can still do better. Believe that excellence is possible. Believe that you can excel. Believe that you can do your best. Yes, you may not be the best because we have different abilities, but you can do your best. When I think about the parable of the talents is where someone was given 1, another one was given 2, another one was given 5. Yes, each according to their abilities. You hear that? Each according to their abilities, which means that we have different abilities. The one who got 5 went, multiplied them, got 10. Well done, good and faithful servant. The one who got 2 went and multiplied them. Well done, good and faithful servant. Again, you see here, one got 2, another got 5. You will not do anything about that. But whatever you have been handed, multiply it. In other words, believe that you can do this. Believe that excellence is possible. The one who got 1 went and hid it. Now, the problem was not that he had 1. The problem was what he did with it. The problem is not what you have. The problem is what you do with it. Believe that excellence is possible. And there was a punishment for that one who got 1 and hid it. So be like the one of 2, be like the one of 5. If you have been handed a 2, multiply your 2. If you have been handed a 5, multiply your 5. Whatever you do, believe that excellence is possible. Number 2, get committed to excellence. Get committed. Excellence is not spoken. Excellence is demonstrated. Commit yourself. Commit yourself to excellence. Commit yourself to excellence. Commit. In other words, take the action steps that demonstrate excellence. Commitment is not spoken, it is demonstrated. It is not told, it is shown. With excellence, you don't say, look, I am committed. No. Excellence, it is your actions that show it. So now commit yourself. Show up on time. Be prompt. Do it now. Don't procrastinate. That is how you build a life of excellence. You don't build a life of excellence by talking about it. You build a life of excellence by being committed to doing it. Do it. Commit yourself. That is commitment. Number 3, seek to perform with consistency. Don't be a 1-minute wonder. Don't be a one-hit wonder. No. You did well yesterday. Do well today. Do well tomorrow. Isn't that one of the attributes of God? He does not change. We say God is good all the time, whether it is raining like yesterday, or it is not raining like today, or it is windy tomorrow. God is good all the time. In other words, and we too should be imitators and imitators of God. So we too should be excellent all the time. Be good all the time. Is it possible? Of course not. But you do your best every time, regardless of the changing circumstances. You seek to perform with excellence. You're not hyper on Monday and then low on Tuesday and then moody on Wednesday and then excited on Friday. No, be consistent. Do your best, not once, but all the time. Number 4, seek continuous improvement. No matter how well you're doing, you can still do better. No matter how well you have done, you can still do better. So the question will always be, how can we do this better? Yes, we did well. Well done. Give yourselves a high five, a pat on the back, and hugs. Lift yourself up in the air. Excellent. Question is, how can we do this even better tomorrow? Seek to perform with consistency. Number 5, get rid of complacency. Get rid of complacency. This complacent attitude does not mix with excellence. Let us build a culture where complacency is not tolerated. Mediocrity is not tolerated. No complacent attitudes. We need to get rid of complacency. And when you see it, spot it, and tell that person, excuse me, complacency is not tolerated in this institution. Please, I expect that you'll do a good job. Complacency must be got rid of. Number 6, we need to be paying attention to detail to be people of excellence. You just need to look at posters to see what I'm talking about. In fact, recently I saw a whole poster for a whole media house and they had misspelled the word women. Okay, instead of women, W-O, women, and then where there was an E, they had put a W. Paying attention to detail. Again, shall we be perfect? No. By the way, there's a difference between perfection and excellence. Perfection is when you expect that everything will be done to the letter. Excellence is doing your best regardless. So pay attention to detail. That is where paying attention to detail comes in. Maybe before you produce something, give someone to just read through and check, because some errors might elude your eyes, but maybe someone else can spot it. Before you hit send, can you reread? Before you send that email, can you first check and see that there is no shorthand? Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the details. Back in school, we had a Catholic brother called Brother Martin. Rest in peace. He passed away many years ago. Brother Martin used to stand on assembly and he would give us words of advice. And some of his words that I recall vividly now, words like mind the minutest things in life. Mind the minutest things in life. That is paying attention to detail. What Brother Martin was telling us many years ago was, whatever you do, pay attention to the little things, because those little things will one day become the big cracks. Pay attention to the details. And lastly, number 7, if it is generally okay in a place of excellence, we are talking about a culture of excellence. If it's generally okay, then it's not okay. In other words, let us have the mindset of okay plus 1. In other words, in addition to it, this being okay and just fine, how can I go an extra mile and make it an okay plus 1? 7 strategies for us to achieve a life and a culture of excellence. I will close with this short video.
Excellence will cost you what mediocrity will save you. Excellent people will conquer what average people will complain about. Most of the people who don't get ahead in life don't, because they're too busy complaining about why they can't get ahead in life. But an excellent person conquers the things average people complain about. Excellent people pursue solutions. Average people stare at problems. Excellence orchestrates in the mind, translates into speech, and demonstrates in your life. You don't have to ask a person if they are excellent. You can tell by the way they dress. You can tell by the way they talk to you. You can tell by the way they organize what's around them. You can tell by the way they order their words when they speak. Excellence is not imposed from the outside. It is released from the inside. If you and I are going to be effective leaders, and if we're going to inspire people to be excellent, they are going to have to see it in our mindset, our demonstration of life, and in our speech. Excellent people make improvements, not excuses. So here are the principles of excellence that every human should know. Number one, don't settle for the average. Do not settle for the average. Average is the grave in which excellence is buried. Average people strive to fit in, while excellent people strive to stand out. You can never change what you accept. You can never change what you refuse to confront. If you keep pretending that mediocrity is your best, then you will never proceed to excellence. You were not born to be an average person. This, therefore, is the challenge. We need to inspire people to not settle even when they seem to be successful. As a matter of fact, the greatest enemy of progress is your last success. When you settle on what you've done and believe you've achieved everything, you're just begun to die. Excellent people never settle for the average. Develop a deep commitment to excellence. You will never be excellent until you decide that this is the lifestyle you will have. Develop a deep commitment to excellence. First, you should be the best, then you will be first. In business, everybody's trying to be first in the market, but that's the wrong pursuit. Excellent people don't try to be first. They try to be excellent.
Thank you. So three final thoughts on excellence as we bring this to a close. Number one, excellence is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Excellent people don't do certain things. They do things in a certain way. So let us do things extraordinarily well. Excellence is doing ordinary things. Do the ordinary, but do them really well. Extraordinarily well. Number two, excellence is the unlimited ability to improve the quality of what you have to offer. Whatever you do, continue improving the quality of what you have to offer. As a teacher on the call, ask yourself, how can I equip and empower my students better? How can I teach, not just the syllabus, but teach and prepare these children and students with me for life? The unlimited ability to improve the quality of what we have to offer. How can we offer better services to our clients, to our services, to everybody, to our stakeholders? Number three, remember that there are no shortcuts to excellence. There are no shortcuts, says Angela Duckworth. There are no shortcuts. You cannot microwave excellence. You cannot get excellence, put it in a microwave, and then you put it in and you bring out, no. You cannot put this in the microwave and you bring out excellence. You have to go through the process. The process. In other words, excellence does not happen in a day. It happens daily. You don't become excellent in one day. You become excellent on a daily basis. Every day you show up, because like John Maxwell says, the secret to your success is in your daily agenda. Every time you show up and you do excellence, you do an excellent work, it builds a brand and a trail of excellence. So there are no shortcuts to excellence. We have to go and grow through the process. Ladies and gentlemen, my question to you right now is, what is your major highlight and key takeaway from today's session? And how is that going to help you to become a person of excellence? Think about that. At the end of it all, what are you taking away? And how will you apply that to become a person of excellence? I want to leave you with that reflection and to charge you to say, go and develop a culture of excellence in your personal life and in your work. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for that insightful question. And a number of thoughts come to mind as you shared that, and I just want to share my loud thoughts. A few things that came to mind as you were asking. Number one, in a situation where these two people showed up, the one who was to remove the soil came, the one who was putting the soil back came, but the one who did not plant, who was to plant the seed, did not come. What could we do in that situation? One of the things we need to do in this era, and in this era I mean in this day and age, is to expand our capacity beyond just the skills that we're hired to do. We need to each think of how can I expand my capacity? How can I expand so that I can do more? So that maybe this person who was only hired to plant, to dig the pit, can also build capacity to plant the seed. So that in case the person who is to plant the seed does not show up, maybe this person who was to dig can also play the role of planting the seed. That is something that we need to continually do in this day and age. We see it a lot on the football field, where sometimes a goalkeeper gets a red card. One of the players, sometimes it's a defender, sometimes it is a striker, has to now go in the goal and be the one to catch the ball. Now imagine someone, the team says, for us, we are only here to strike. For us, we are only strikers. You need to build background capacity to handle other tasks so that in case those tasks are not done, you can stand in the gap and do those tasks. There is a need for us to skill ourselves beyond our current job. That's one. Another thought that came to mind was when you talked about things are not happening, people are not playing their role, and that is where we need to have a healthy team. A healthy team is where there is communication. People call out one another. We need to have these frequent conversations where we say, look, we are dropping the ball in the area of procurement. We are not having good things coming to us. Why? Because maybe someone in that department is not playing their role. Can we call each other out? Can we call mediocrity out? Because if there is complacency, if there is mediocrity in a certain department, that might be the leakage in the bucket. Because no matter how much effort we put in terms of putting in water in a bucket, if there is a leakage, that bucket will never fill up. Can we point to the leakages? Identify, maybe it is a technical issue. Maybe it is a competence issue. Maybe it is an attitude issue. John Maxwell says rotten attitudes ruin a team. We need to be able to identify them. Jonathan, the question you have posed is a question of building a healthy team. And one of the components of a healthy team is effective communication and accountability. We need to be able to build a team where we can call each other out and say, Jonathan, in this area, I am sorry, but we are not receiving what we should be expecting from your department. We expect better next time. And if these symptoms persist, then we need to seek some additional interventions. But what we are talking about here is being able to call out one another when we are not receiving excellence from that department. That is what I can say.